Welcome to day 2 of 12 stages in 12 days. An important thing to remember with this 12 stages of healing and extraordinary impact is that we don't want to get out of a stage. We don't want to fix a stage. You can only get out of something once you're in it. And the stage itself, connection, as soon as you find a place of peace and a rhythm which you'll learn to experience, in a moment you have the stage, the consciousness is there, and it's there. You got it handled. The challenge is when we don't fully get into the stage and we don't find the energy. We don't have the ability to perceive what that stage is calling us for. Stage 1 wants to acknowledge that sometimes we're helpless and sometimes it's connected and sometimes nothing works. That's all it wants, not a story. When we get that, we get to the next point. I, for example, had a patient one time who I was taking care of her, and she was in absolute suffering. Someone brought her in, and very often suffering somebody else brings them in because he didn't make a decision. They're just utter panic. And I went to her, and I wanted to help her out. And I realized she's skimming on the surface of suffering. She's not really getting into it. She's doing everything not to admit she's suffering and saying, why is it happening? It shouldn't be happening. That's creating more pain than realizing this is the energy. What is it? What does this stage call of me? What does it ask? So she told me it's your massive pain. And I said to her, you look terrible. What do you mean? Have you slept? She says, no. So, my God, you're not going to die, are you? She says, I don't think so. My idea was to acknowledge your helplessness. Most people say you're going to be perfectly fine. Bless them. I want to bless them with the energy they need at that moment to move on and to be there. So I said, well, I think you're too far gone. I don't know if I could help you. I walked out of the room. It was kind of tough to do that, but I wanted her to experience for a moment of helplessness. And she says, she comes back and she says, nothing's working. I said, congratulations. And then I had to touch her body and connect and say it. Then she paused and said, Doc, you could help me. I know you could help me because you're the best. She moved from stage 1 to stage 2. In stage 1, there's no help. Stage 2, there's help available from an outside source or something else. A magical answer is going to come to you, a magical treatment. And notice, whatever the magic works, at some time you can find it doesn't work. What you thought the solution to make you feel better or feel more comfortable actually cause more pain. Whenever you move away from something, you actually move further into it over time. Whatever you move away from, you create more of, because there's more of a charge on it than just accepting something. The universe is abundant. We will get more either of what we don't want or more of what we do want or must have. In stage 2 is a polarity. This is where we say, this is good, this is bad, right, wrong. This is where we're conditioned to learn a certain response. You people are good. Maybe you're a good one. You're a bad one. It's because of my father. It's because of something else. There's blame. There's shame. There's good, bad, right, wrong, evil. And these rhythms are competing and they won't speak to each other. So, for example, somebody said, oh my God, I have a migraine headache. It hurts so much. Instead, if they realize that there's energy that is meant to them experience, there's information about this life that's been withheld, and energy keeping it separate so it won't be revealed, at that particular time, suddenly the body may have a symptom. It may cause a breakdown, a neurological breakdown, an emotional breakdown. You yell at your husband, it's your fault. That's happening because there's energy and information about your life that's been separated. You've not accepted as being there. It's associated with some part of your body or some part of the space around you. When you're in stage 2, and in stage 2 you have this stage for yourself and the environment, someone's triggering you. Why did you get upset? You person just pissed me off. I got stressed out. Somehow that person activated energy like hitting a tuning fork. That activates energy and information that must be expressed for you because there's wisdom in it. When you said, no, I can't experience this, there's a whole bunch of gifts waiting for you. It's time into the raw, but you won't go there. So how do we go about this? I want to tell you something. I had been gifted to be with a couple of boys, about 10 teenagers. Some were from Palestine, some from Israel. Each took bullets from the other side. They were at a conference in trying to come together spiritually and religion, and they were ready to leave. I was called in to say, could you help them? And I did this exercise with them. After the exercise, I saw them 3 years later in Jerusalem. They said, Dr. Don, I don't know what you did, but afterwards, life changed. We now formed a team of the Israelis and Palestinians helping families to get together. It changed on that day. It works for you, it works in the world. When fear is out and people are worried, what happens, we need to connect to the rhythms. Because you know when you have enough energy in the system, in your body, in your life, nothing bothers you. Stage 2, all bigotry, all the hatred, all the violence goes from suffering to next level. I'm going to have an answer by destroying you or killing you, or whatever it is, whatever part of your life. What we need is a good sense of humor. We have to open up our clown chakra here. So you put one hand up here and one hand down here. Position 1 and 3. First, we do stage 1. That's the basis. We check it all the time. And I find, wow, I can connect here. Peace, cool. And again, focus on at least 2, breath, energy, and movement. And then I go to 3rd, breathing in the nose, out the mouth, just like we did in stage 1. A connection here, great. I connect 1, 2, 3, check off. Great, I got it. I got the connection. Therefore, my body is able to no longer have to suffer and start feeling connected now. Now it's connected, it's going to find, hey, how do I integrate the parts? You have the parts, but then how do they interact? You're on a date with somebody who's really great, then you move in with them. Oh my God, what happens? You became my mother. You became my father. You became this person. Why? Because that person is resonating with this information that's withheld that you only saw a small bandwidth of. You need a bigger picture for. And with that, you need more what? Right? Energy. So I go here and here. I breathe in the nose and mouth, and I say, I have different parts. As I see this fearless move, I found that sweet spot. I have different rhythms. I have different rhythms and different parts. What am I doing? I keep alternating because the disconnection is because you believe in this reality. All suffering comes from belief in one reality. There's more than one reality going on. And once you realize that energy is liberated for you and for others, and somehow you no longer have that charge, other people don't experience that from you either. It changes your life. So I go here and here. Great. What if I can't make the whole gamut, the whole stretch? I go here and connect there and there. Then I go from here, I go from here. I have different parts, I have different rhythms. This is another one. I have parts I like. I have parts I don't like. And you'll notice the parts you don't like are the parts you can't breathe and you can't find because you pushed it away. And guess what? Those are the same parts that you trigger things in other people with. And also your immunological response because the body's fighting. It's inflamed. So let's go here. Here and here. I have parts I like, parts I don't like. And you repeat it. Now you're fooling yourself. If you take the parts that you didn't like and say parts I liked, and you repeat it faster and faster, soon you forget who you hate and who you love. And suddenly those boundaries start disappearing. How much energy does it take to keep the world in one perspective? And it gets stressed because when life shows you it's not that way. I have parts I like, parts I don't like. Parts that are great, the parts that suck. And you can then think of that. Part could be masculine, could be feminine, could be money, could be business. Any polarity you have Christian, you have Muslim, Jewish, any polarity. But when you're doing this, think of it. You can think of what polarities you have in life and add to it. And then go, oh my God, watch this. This is great here. And then this just died out. What happened? I go back, I say, wow, I have a full connection here. But when I put my hand here, this one got weaker. Why? Because in the presence of of this energy this week. And so anyone who's in their power center will probably weaken more your heart, your ability to speak your voice. And then when you experience in that same spot, the same thing happens. You could change the whole relation with you and the world. You could also do this in the field. You can go out here and feel, well, I have a charge here, I have a charge here. You feel it in the body here or here. Go in the field. You'll feel here or here. And across the body, you feel the energy. And suddenly you change that in the field, the karmic energy in the field. It shifts others, and other people can now accept also. It's extraordinary. This is the early introduction to this. And it's still so extraordinary. Now get to this part. Wow, this part is stronger. This is weaker. I go here, and now the part that's weaker, that doesn't speak up, that's dominated by another part, which will show up in life of you giving away your power by other ways. Now you say at this point to this part, speak up. Imagine you're a child. Who did you want to speak up? Who did you want to tell you that? Was it your mother, father, relative? You mean no one ever told you to speak up? Be quiet? No wonder. You could change it. It's never too late for early childhood. You could change this here now by going there and say, speak up like your mother or father would have told you to. Speak up, and by whatever name they called you. If your English was not your first language, say it in the early language, because our early conditioning happened in that language. Speak up, Dansela, speak up. Wow, and I go back to the exercise now. Now get this. Now I say, my parts speak to one another. Now watch, this is a sacred part. As they both speak, I'm going to get the breath energy from the top on the expiration to go down to the bottom. Watch this. I'm going to send it down. As it goes here, I'm going to send the breath energy up. And you form a wave going back and forth. And now you say, my parts speak to one another, breathing in the nose and out the mouth. My parts speak to one another. This part speaks to this part. This part speaks to that part. And then you go, wow, I have different parts. I have different rhythms. And when you go to it next time, this time go, ha, ha, ha. I have different parts. I have different rhythms. Parts I like, parts I don't like. But ha, 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 all the parts of me. The next time you do it, all the parts of me, and you laugh, oh, the belly laughter, because that liberates energy that's been bound up, that may take years and years to free up in a moment. So I have different parts, I have different rhythms. I have parts I like, parts I don't like, parts that are great, parts that are stuck. Speak up, speak up, speak up. Oh, and now go back to it again. And now my parts speak to one another. Finally, they speak to another. All the parts of me. And when you keep going between all the parts of me, my parts speak to another. They don't have to like each other, but they have a great body. Suddenly, there's joy. The charge is offered. You have more energy available. And now you move to the next stage. There's no longer a polarity. You see more than one side of the picture, and it feels like you are so free because you